Well, I'm delighted to say I've got a person who's become a friend of mine over the years, Ruth, here in the studios, through tragic circumstances.
Unfortunate circumstances, Paul.
It's about the Summerland tragedy, and you talked to us now for some time, and we've swapped stories and that sort of thing. And you always said you wanted to write about it.
Yes.
I'm absolutely thrilled to hold this up. I mean, thrilled is probably the wrong word.
I know, it's very hard.
How do you describe what you do about this?
For me, who writes and loves words, I haven't found an appropriate word yet to describe how I feel about the book. And what usually you would say to people, I hope you enjoy it, but that isn't right either.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one.
Well, I mean, it's a big read. I mean, I've only just got it now, so I haven't had a chance to go through it. But I mean, also you've got the pictures in there. I think if anyone's followed MTTV, you'll see your stories. We've done a couple of interviews with you. And
it all started with you, Paul.
Did it?
Yeah, 2014. You did the interview with me, and it encouraged people to come forward. And I got a bit of support, and people told me their stories, and it just went from there, really. So
wow.
It all started with you, so thank you for that.
Well, so you've been in touch with lots of people, eh?
Yes.
And this is your story and their story together?
This is my story, and I've touched on a few people's stories in that because I'd like to do a follow-up book. So, I want to concentrate on survivor stories, people that were in the fire, and also Manx people who were involved, possibly firemen, anybody who was involved in the rescue effort, to tell their recollections of that night.
How do you feel now you've written it? Is that something like you put something to rest there, or does it still affect you?
The thing about it is, Paul, there's always new information coming forward. It had just gone to press when I got a few more documents, which sort of opened it up a wee bit again. So I need to look into that too. So the story's ongoing.
I know we chatted in the past, like nowadays when these sort of things happen, there's massive outpouring, there's reads, there's all sorts of focal points. And it's still incredible to a lot of people. The Isle of Man didn't have any focal point for years.
Yes.
Now there's the gardens. I know you're still pushing for sunflowers on the site,
well,
sort of thing.
Something there, just to say where Summerland was. For people that come in the future, relatives of those who died, maybe people who weren't even born then, maybe my own family, grandchildren, years to come, they'll go and where is Summerland? There isn't anything to say where Summerland was.
Yet it's, what, is it 44 years now?
44 years, yes.
It's still, the site is there.
Still the same, yeah.
I mean, I know we've done some stuff down there. I mean, is it better if it was just sorted? I mean, how do you feel about that now? And besides, I know you want this memorial, but do you think it should be anything particular down there?
I would love another entertainment complex, something for everyone. And obviously we could have a tribute outside for the original Summerland, and a plaque maybe with the survivors, or with the people who died, their names on it. Would be there for the survivors and the victims.
Your story is amazing. So if people get this, they get that story and where your journey from
I've been very honest in it and very open, I think, because growing up I would have made a joke of things, and we often act the clown to hide how we really feel. And I would have been jokey, but if you don't laugh, you cry. That was the alternative. This tells what it was really like for me and for my family. My family, didn't realise, I think, how badly I was affected.
Right. And over the years, more and more pictures seem to surface on social media, and we've got a collection of those. I mean, every time I see one that appear, I store it up, because for a long time people don't really remember what happened. This is important to tell your story and to tell other people what went on that time.
There was silence for so many years. I call it the silence of Summerland. And I think when something's quiet, it's like my scars, I covered them up. And they became worse to me because, this big secret. But when I started to talk about Summerland, I could be more open, and I felt it helped me. It's the same with talking about Summerland. When you talk about it and other people talk about it, it helps. It's always going to be the big, huge, terrible thing that has happened, but you don't feel alone anymore. You're in it with someone else, and that's a huge thing.
And every year people come back, and there is an event that normally, I think 7 p.m. it'll happen down on the site.
On the promenade, yes.
Is that important?
Yes. Last year and this year too, the council will meet to lay a wreath, and to me that's so important. The new memorial, and the council have been so good. Councillor Christian, has been a great support, and we do this every year. And as well as that, there's also a commemoration, 1 minute silence opposite the Summerland site.
So, Made in Summerland, your events here catalogue. Where can people get hold of this book? Can you just hold it up again so people can see what it looks like?
It can be purchased directly from Lily Publications, and it's in several bookshops around the island.
So Manx Publications. So.
Yeah, Manx. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
It belongs here, I think. Although you've had a lot of support at home, but if you read it, Paul, you know, you'll see the Manx theme running through it, because I'll never be Manx, but I would like to be. You know, a terrible thing happened to me on this island, but I've fallen in love with it.
And yet, I bet along the way, certain people didn't want to talk about it or didn't want to help you.
Yeah.
Because that's how the culture was, wasn't it? To
yes,
move
that's
on,
how
it was almost buried. Did you find that you got some resistance?
I'm not the most persistent of people.
I think you are. I think you're pretty good.
You think so?
I think so. No, but
I didn't used to be.
Did you hit walls? And
I hit loads of walls, but I was so driven. I would like to just say to people, this hasn't been easy. It's taken its toll on my health. I developed carpal tunnel syndrome, and it was agony to finish the book off. On my marriage, you know, the family, there were fallouts within the family because people didn't realise, you know, the full extent of everything. And a cousin of mine actually went to his grave with bad feeling because of this.
Well, they didn't want you to write your
Just something
story.
that was said, you know, that came out that was the truth. But, you know, I didn't get a chance to talk to him, so just everything surrounding Summerland it is terrible.
I've talked to some other survivors, and there was a massive fallout between the family because one didn't want it reliving, another one did want to.
Yes, that's the same with me, yes.
So it's interesting. Other people have the same thoughts, isn't it? That just they want to move on their lives and don't want to think about it.
We're all different, and people cope in different ways, and that's what I think too. I have dealt with why there was no memorial for so many years within the book, and people grieve in different ways. So basically, that's what it is.
So you're going to probably get a lot more information coming on people getting in touch with you. So you think there's a book 2 that could be made?
Definitely.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. I've always said that. I mean, I've maybe done 4 or 5 chapters of book 2. Oh. I did them while I was in the middle of this, when I was waiting for people to get back to me, as you say.
Yeah.
There were things that I had to go on ahead. I couldn't leave it any longer. So they'll just have to carry forward. There will be things in there that people say, oh, you know, would need to know a wee bit more about this, but that will come. And I have put references beside everything so people can look up, say, the fire report and find out a wee bit more. Well, the tool will explain some people's actions, you know, at the time.
If people want to come along on Wednesday at 7, it's open to everyone, is it?
Open to everyone, yes. As I say, the council one is in the K Garden, and then there's also one opposite the site. Okay. So whichever people feel
44 years.
Like to go to.
It's incredible, isn't it? I mean, I was just a youngster myself, not quite as young as you on that, but...
Yes, you're in the book too, Paul.
I'm in it?
You're in it, yes.
Oh, fine.
Yes, you're there too.
Ruth, again, thank you so much for coming today. If people want to get hold of that, Lily Publications, and you'll find it online, no doubt, all the information.
Yes, it's in Amazon now. I don't think it's available at the minute, but it will be.
Yeah.
But you can look it up on Amazon too.